Hello, my name is Dilara. Today I will talk about the House of the Virgin Mary. The House of the Virgin Mary is not just a structure built of stone and mortar, but also one of the purest meeting points of faith, archaeology, and mystical mystery that has persisted for centuries. It's located in the Selçuk district of Izmir, near the summit of Mount Bilbul, against which the ancient city of Ephesus rested. This small house is a pilgrimage center for the Christian world and a symbol of deep reverence for the Virgin Mary in the Islamic world. What makes it so special is the incredible story of its discovery and the profound silence it holds. The story of the house is discovery as follows. In the early 19th century, in Germany, Anna Katharina Emmerich, a bedridden nun who had never been to Turkey or even left her home, began to have visions of the lives of Jesus and the Virgin Mary. In her dreams, Emmerich described in meticulous detail in the Virgin Mary's houses in Ephesus. The olive trees surrounding the house, the steep cliffs behind the building, and the distance of the sea visible from the house's terrace. These visions were noted by the poet Clemens Brentano and compiled into a book after the nun's death. Based on this book, Lazaret monks arrived in the area in 1891 and found a stone ruin and a flowing water source that perfectly matched the descriptions. Investigations revealed that the foundations date back to the 1st century, but the structure above had been renovated in the 13th century. This discovery is considered one of the most striking proofs of how faith can transcend geography. Looking at the historical roots, the existence of this house is based on a biblical story. While being crucified, Jesus, looking at his youngest and favorite apostle John, pointed to his mother and said, "Here is your mother." From that moment on, John assumed the guardianship of the Virgin Mary. Because of the intense pressure and persecution of Christians in Jerusalem at that time, it is said that John brought the Virgin Mary to Ephesus, a safer and more vibrant metropolis of the era. To ensure her safety and allow her to focus on her worship, the Virgin Mary was placed in a high and hidden spot on the mountain, away from the chaos of the city. It is believed that she lived here until the age of 101 and that she ascended to heaven here. The architecture of the house is the highest expression of simplicity and modesty. The cuneiform structure is built from local stones of the region. Upon entering, you are greeted by a spacious entrance hall, followed by a central altar and a bedroom section where the Virgin Mary is believed to have slept. The dim light inside, the flickering flames of candles, and the soot marks on the walls distract the visitors from the modern world and invite them to back 2000 years. This place doesn't possess the opulence of a cathedral. On the contrary, it embodies the warmth and tranquility of a mother's house. Charred pieces of wood and remnants of an ancient hearth dating back to the 1st century, found beneath the building during archaeological excavations, prove that the house was indeed used as a living space during that period. Just outside the house, on the lower terrace, are the healing fountains flowing from three different arches. According to popular beliefs, one of these foundations represents love, another health, and the third fertility. People from all over the world believe they share in the sanctity of these waters by drinking from them or taking them with them. This famous wishing wall next to the fountains is like a shared book of hope for humanity. Thousands of prayers and wishes written on small pieces of paper, napkins, and cloth in different languages accumulate here. This wall is the most magnificent deception of humans' universal desire for help, transcending religions and languages. One of the most important features that distinguishes the house of the Virgin Mary from another religious sites around the world is that Muslim and Christian worship here in complete harmony. In Islam, the Virgin Mary is the woman whose name is directly mentioned and most revered in the Quran. Therefore, Muslims also call this house Mother Mary and consider it sacred. The visits of popes, later of the Catholic world, prove that the place is not only religional value but also a symbol of global peace and faith. This silent valley at the summit of Mount Bilbul, with the wind blowing through the olive branches and the sounds of birds, makes visitors feel as if they are in another dimension. This humble structure represents the power of essence, not ostentation, of silence, not noise. The house of the Virgin Mary is a sanctuary of peace that time cannot wear down, and where faith shines brighter each day. A trip here is not just about seeing a historical building, but about taking refuge in the common sacredness of humanity, in that silent harbor of compassion and mercy. Thank you for watching.